Alright, let's see about getting this going live. Got Dwarf Fortress up and running. Switch over to that window. Oh hey, I should probably get some headphones on, shouldn't I, so that it's not such a rough sound. Alright, here we go. So, I've already set up a nice big world and let it run for 250 in-game years. And I've already found a suitable location with good resources near a fellow kingdom that we're from. So we will be hopping into that bad boy. Don't be alarmed by the characters on this screen. We have text will be text, which lets all these interfaces do their pure text mode, but the game will be quite graphical. Alrighty, so here we have our beginning in Dwarf Fortress. Unfortunately, this texture pack doesn't scale very well, but I'll give you a look at our starting area. Nice little stream up in the top. A little bit of elevation drop off down the sides here, some little cliffs going downwards, some trees spotted around, a few little lakes. It's not bad at all. So I think the first thing we're going to do is start digging downward. We need a little bit of an area where we can call our own, and where we can shut off from the outside world to keep horrible gobos and cannibalistic elves from coming at us, after we no doubt piss them off. So one of the first things you'll be doing is popping up in your designation window and choosing mine. Of course, the earth isn't here to mine, so we have to go down a level. So we'll just go ahead and make a down staircase. I like to make them like more than just one tile wide, so that you have some room for people to walk around each other. And then from now on, we're going to use up-down stair ramps. I'm going to actually just go down a few levels to make it a nice deep shaft. So they'll dig all of this out all the way up. People can go up and down those, but people can only go down these. So next step after that would be to build some sort of defenses up here. But for now we need some materials, so while those guys are mining, the few guys with pickaxes that is, everybody else will be doing some work up here. So I think we're going to want to chop down a bunch of trees and get this area around us sort of cleared and ready to put some buildings down. So get all these trees here. And they'll of course need a place to put all the wood that they gather. So the next step is setting up a nice stockpile for them. So you just go to the stockpiles menu, and there's a bunch of different types to begin with. Simple wood stockpile will do for our needs. And that's just a little area so that they know where to put it. We have a bunch of things on this cart that we start with here, like all of our food and supplies. So one of the first things we'll want is to make a little safe room for that stuff to go. So we're just going to use the regular dig command here and mine out a nice little entrance room. Put one on both sides here. Eventually we'll expand this to where it fills up the entire area, but for now we just need some area to dump things. That'll do. And now it's all been paused this entire time. We have some chickens and things like that. We should probably set up a pasture for them to go into right off the bat so they don't starve or go all over the place and get eaten. So we have to make something called a zone. I think that's, yeah, the I hotkey for no good reason. So you just make it. You see over there on the right, new activity zone, and it shows the areas of things in there that are applicable. So we're making just as big of a pen pasture as we can. We have to tell it what it is while we're hovering it. Tell it you're a pen pasture, and we're going to tell it any grazing animals should go in here. So that's our ewe, our ram, our horse, and our water buffalo. I assume the water buffalo and horse were dragging the wagon, and we brought the others to make food with. As for the birds, they'll need nesting areas, so I might as well just put them in the pen anyways, just to make sure that they're sort of out of our way. So here we go, we'll get the hens, rooster, ducks, drake, turkey, hens, turkey gobbler. There we go, that'll do it. And I think that's enough to get started. We'll go ahead and unpause. Let everybody start milling about doing their jobs. Miners going to go about mining. The lumberers are going out already cutting down trees and getting the wood back over into the stockpiles. The trees are technically, yeah, much taller as they go up the levels. So there's multiple pieces of wood for them to knock out. You'll see underground here that their roots are actually in the earth while they're still there. I suppose you could be mole people and cut the trees down by like taking out their roots from under the ground. Might be kind of fun if you were in like a particularly evil forest or something. And there can be particularly evil forests. As it turns out, all kinds of horrible hazards exist in the world. The more evil a place, the more hazardous. Things like raining werewolf blood, and if any of your people get in it, they're going to become werewolves. So now we have a little bit of room. I'm going to go ahead and pop down some food storage. Get some space here for the most important things. Furniture. And some finished goods. Oops. No, that'll be fine. We found some rock here with hematite, so this is probably where we're going to start doing some major mining. Just get a nice big area here going. So this is where most of our supplies are going to come from. Also, dwarves don't like regular rough-hewn dirt walls. They much prefer nice stone places, so I think this is also where we're going to begin to plan out the bedrooms. I like to give them nice big bedrooms, at least in the beginning, because it just keeps them from having tantrum spirals where one gets pissed off and that pisses off another, which pisses off another, until everybody's going crazy and jumping off of walls to their doom and stuff. Which is a very real problem. Dwarves, as hardy as they are, can only take so much, and eventually they'll reach their limit, and they explode in many an amazing way. Quite often in ways that harm the rest of the fortress, though sometimes they're nice enough to just commit suicide. As the fortress gets larger, it'll be inevitable that some of those things will be happening, and to help stem tantrum spirals, we'll be able to get a little bit of like a police force going that will keep in check anyone who has a tantrum, just to make sure that they don't go too far in their wild rage. Just come up, you know, the constable will notice them doing something wrong, and he'll just come up with a silver mace and give them a good whack on the head, and he won't soon be harming anybody. If he survives the whack on the head, we'll put him in a nice little jail cell where he'll have to get food delivered. I mean, you don't have to have food delivered, but if we want him to survive the ordeal, he'll need food delivered and water, ale preferably. It's a pretty nice life, honestly, being a prisoner in this fortress. Just tying everything up here so we have a nice, massive sort of area. Alright, that should do for housing. And we got the first bits of storage. You can see just a few little things coming in here. Some bags of nuts and seeds and things like that. Which brings us on to the next natural point that we need to worry about, and that is getting ourselves a little bit of, let's see here, this is soil, good. We need to start getting ourselves some plants going. So I think that would be a wise thing to just go ahead and knock out as soon as possible. This sadly takes quite a large area to work with, but it's necessary. See, they've just dropped an anvil here, and this is something that if you're designing your own start, you need to make sure you have one of these, or the materials to make one from scratch, because you can't make anything out of metal without an anvil to begin with. And yeah, if you were hoping to make a smeltery or anything else to make the anvil with, that's not happening. You have to already have either the smelted metal ready to go, or one of these anvils. Doesn't matter what kind, iron, copper, anything. Oh, the water effect in this graphic pack is kind of nice. You can really see that depth, sort of, a little better than normal. Normally, in the base game, it would just be numbers 1 through 7, where 7 is the deepest. And somewhere around 2 or 3, your dwarves just can't even anymore, unless they're good at swimming, which, spoiler, most of them aren't. So we struck some more hematite. This is good. Oh, good. Even on this level, there's stone. See, we have nice little bits of ore in the walls. It makes the dwarves pretty happy when we smooth it down, because I just imagine it puts neat patterns in the walls, and dwarves love things like metal and ore, so it's generally something they're pretty stoked about. Got little bits of chalk and things. I'm just going to quickly tab over to make sure I have my chat window up so I can actually see what people are saying to me. Oop. Supposedly that should have updated everything so that it says which game I'm playing. Alrighty. So the dwarves are doing a good job digging out these rooms. We'll need to put beds in, which means we'll need a carpenter. We might as well slap the carpenter down upstairs, since he'll be right next to the wood and all, and fairly close to the furniture stockpiles downstairs. So I'm just going to slap him like here, sort of out of the way. Use some of the logs that we already have right lying around. And we should probably go ahead and get... I don't really want to put too much else outside. It's best to put things indoors, just because during a siege you want access to them. And dwarves don't like to be out in the weather too much. There we go. Nice. Nice little carpenter's workshop. This is a really nice graphics pack. It actually looks pretty nice, has unique textures for each of the different workshops, and almost every one of the creatures actually has animated sprites. Like those little things that just keep popping up are earthworms, which things like chickens and such will go after and try to eat for their food, so you don't have to feed them constantly. Yeah, the pasture size is important. As you see, there's only some tiles with grass and others where it's stone and dirt. And if there's not enough grass in your pasture, the animals will run out of things to eat and will die. So you either have to come up with some other way, like feeding them some hay or something, or just make sure you have a big enough pasture and you don't have too many animals in it. I've tweaked some settings to make that less of a problem, because by default the game's just kind of silly with it all. Like, there isn't a big enough pasture for some animals. Like, the maximum size still isn't big enough, so that's it's kind of an issue. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually cancel some of these designations just to cut off some of this construction. Because they're going to spend all of their time doing it, and I actually need them to get the stockpile level finished first. Only need a few rooms at first, so that there's somewhere for everybody to crash. Yeah, we don't have any beds yet. That's what our carpenter shop needs to start doing. So you go over to your carpenter shop, and you just mouse over it with Q and add a new task. And then here you can scroll through this with up, plus and minus, but the important thing is the letters on the right, B for bed. So it just becomes A for add new, B for bed, A, B, A, B, A, B. So we're just going to queue up a bunch of beds there. About 10 is what it can hold in its crafting queue. still have lots of things that need dropping off. So we're going to have to go ahead and dig out some more area here. Things like ammo and weapons, armor, clothing. It doesn't have a place to go yet. And the food storage area is very small for how much we have, because each of these barrels hold not only food, but booze. Booze that takes, you know, quite a bit of space. Like a liter of food is enough for a day, but a liter of booze is only enough for like half to a third of a day. So we have a little bit of work to do, but they're getting things done. Hopefully we should see beds. Yeah, there's some beds in there in storage, which means we can now place them in the rooms. They're plumwood beds. Nice. Yeah, we only have 2 so far. What I can do, though, is I think I can turn on planning mode. Yeah. That's a special thing from DF Hack. And it allows me to basically place phantom beds, and then they'll put one there once there's a bed in the stockpile. Just, you know, handy ease of life thing. So that's enough for 6 dwarves. As you might have guessed, we have a little more than 6 dwarves. How many more? Let's find out. Oh, we don't. We have exactly 6. Well, isn't that perfect? No, wait, we have 7 citizens. Oh, right, the first one's selected. He's not that. Yeah, we need 1 more bed at least for these guys, so I'm going to open this up and then just cancel this right here. And that'll let them finish off that last bed. Yeah, it's given them a little bit of time to work on this area, which really is needed because you've got to get all that food out from upstairs. Because animals will come across and just steal it, and it degrades while it's just sitting there in the rain and elements. We've had good weather, though. We're in a hot savanna, so it's like it's generally going to be hot most of the year here. It's not going to get cold, and it might even get so hot that some of these like little lakes and things, or these little ponds, dry up. So we're going to have to be pretty proactive in getting connected to the stream up here for our water source. Dwarves do need water. They much prefer beer and ale, but if they run out of ale and beer, they'll drink water, and if they're sick, they can only drink water. Or injured, even. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Designate construction. Well, I didn't want to do that. We'll get rid of that here. So designate, let's see here, remove construction. Is that not the one? Alright, then need like a destroy building. Weird. Maybe I can't. That's unfortunate. There's definitely a way to do it. I'll remember here in a minute. I really wanted to put those plots over here where I could have a nice bit of room to do a whole bunch of farming. We need all kinds of food for these guys, and not just food for them to eat, but food to turn into brewing ingredients. So let's start storing some things. We need to get our cloth store. Only need a little bit of that. Little area for our ammo. We got finished goods. We've got a spot for our weapons. Armor can take up at decent spots. We'll do that here. Sheets, leather. I should get most of it out of there. So yeah, we have no idlers hardly up here. They're all working. It's always a good sign. We might need to get the carpenter here to add some bins. Bins allow you to put smaller items sort of all in one space. and stack them into a bin. I don't think we have any yet, so that'll actually help a lot for getting things put away. Certain items can only go in bags, certain can only go in bins. Food and alcohol has to go in barrels. We'll need some doors as well. Let him finish that up. We have a mod that allows us to... ooh, nice. That allows us to increase sort of our automation level more than the base game normally does. It'll allow us to later on have them automatically make sure we have 5 doors on hand or whatever it may be. So I'm going to make a few of these farm plots nice and big. Actually, little like 5 by 5. That should do just fabric, because now in this newer version, clothes degrade over time, and your dwarves will be running around naked and unhappy if you don't take care of that. Get another nice long plot here. And this is going to be our main food plot. We're just going to get plump helmets, just all the time, every day, plump helmets. They're a type of purple mushroom. And dwarves just, I don't know, it's like the bread of the dwarven kingdom. They love it. They use it in everything. You can make booze out of it, you can eat it, you can make dye out of it. It's the greatest plant ever. Don't take it from me, take it from the dwarves. 9 out of 10 dwarves agree. So let's get some things going here. We need... So this has an annoying thing where there's different seasons. It's kind of cool for overground, but underground it doesn't really make much sense. So I'm going to set... You can, with Dwarf Fortress hack, DF hack, you can do Shift Enter here to choose one for all seasons. And as long as it's an option in all seasons, it will grow it. The only thing I'm going to change is I want pigtails grown here whenever possible, because they only grow for half the year. And then, yep, that's it. And that's the same for this little field here. We want it to grow plump helmets and then pigtails. I think that does it right. C, D. Yep, alright. So yeah, it grows pigtails whenever it can, plump helmets the rest of the time, and this one is just plump helmets. Plump helmets every part of the year. Good. You can use quarry bushes to grind into flour, but we have to make a grindstone, and that has to be powered. You can use dimple cups to make blue dye for your clothes. But I mean, come on, we're dwarves. Do we really care whether we have dyed clothing? Well, I mean, I guess technically they could, but I don't, so they'll make do with natural colors. We've nearly got all of our beds set up, which is great. We need to get doors going now. Just had some time to work on that. Just add a bunch of doors onto his list there. These guys are all getting to work planting things. That's good. We can take a look here. Oh, neat. Clicking does that now. Not used to having a mouse interface for this stuff. We can look here and see. Loamy sand is the floor. It's not the best floor, but things will grow. Oh, that reminds me, we need a refuse pile. Somewhere to throw all of the trash and dead bodies and things. Let's see here. Nice big refuse pile away from our base. That's where all the dead elves will go when we fight them. When we take all of their shit. Good, good. Things are looking good. It looks like we still have a few more items on here that we haven't been able to unload. So I think I need an animal storage somewhere. Good. Open this up. Luckily, sand and dirt is easy to dig in. Stone takes much longer time. Although the more skilled they become at it, the better. Right now, the game's just complaining to me that I don't have any more seeds. But that's okay, because as we eat the food, they'll produce more seeds. We could, however, go ahead and get the still going here. So let's get a still. I think it's here. Alright, things are going pretty good here. We'll have to get some rooms for nobles eventually. That's thinking a little bit ahead. We just barely got the beginnings of our fortress going. What the miners are working on right this moment. I should also set this. There's a way you can set hotkeys over here. Hotkeys. Capital H. Shift H. So, so this one will be, so here, name, barracks. Wow, that's a terribly spelled barracks, but that's fine. We'll set this one F1 to here, change the name to top level. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, and so now I can just do F1 and F2 to quickly switch between these layers. I don't have to keep scrolling through them all. Animals aren't dying immediately. That's great. And there's not a huge barren area of ground, so that's good. Wood stockpile is full, and our carpenter is hard at work. Hopefully making some doors for us soon. The bins have helped. You can see over here, there's a few bins with things. Imagine we could actually take a look at them. Yeah, the cloth bin. So this guy here has all of our thread and silk and yarn. Aha, the still lives. Good. So you should, well, it's telling me here in red that I don't have any of the ingredients I need. But, yeah, it will be able to brew from plants once I have them. Theoretically, some of these might be fruit trees. Yeah, like this is a pecan tree. So, like, there's, in theory, I could make, like, a little stand to, like, pick the pecans out of it with my dwarves. But, I mean, what do we look like? Fucking elves? We're not bothering with that. We use trees for wood, not for fruit and food. We're hardy dwarves who eat mushrooms and cave rocks and turn the land into blades that we stab our enemies in the face with. That's the dwarf way. Ah, good. They're finally opening this area up. We have a few doors finally, which is good. We need to get those going. I'm gonna turn on planning mode again, just so I can quickly toss doors here. Now with planning mode, you could do things like only use certain materials or certain quality doors. And with the manager, I can have the game basically keep trying until you make a door of a certain quality. It's all far, far beyond what we have right now. Any door will do, we just need them to separate the rooms out. Alright, so let's go ahead and get animal stockpile in here. And that will get one of those cages out of there. At least I think it will. I'm pretty sure that's an animal cage just sitting there. everybody's taking their time to mill about. We need to set up a proper meeting room. I usually also make sure that that's a nice dining hall. We should probably build it as close to the food as we can, so we'll dig out a nice little spot. We'll probably also put other things like our temples and our tavern up here once we get that far. For now, we'll just have a little dining hall and we'll expand it or make a new one when the time arises. Yeah, these doors are great because then you can go to these rooms and make it a bedroom. And now it's a free bed. Anybody can claim this as their bedroom. And if you wanted to, you could assign them to somebody in particular. Nobles, more than anyone else, require you to give them like a particularly fancy bedroom. By making them this large, we sort of ensure that no matter who ends up in it, they'll be fairly satisfied with the room when it's done. And that just reduces the amount of micromanaging I have to do. But in theory, like, you can give them matchstick rooms, like I'll show you here. A lot of people will just do something like this. And, you know, they'll just put the bed in the back, and then like a table here, and like a chair, and then the door. And it's just, you can just line these up, just tons of them. But that's just not my style, man. I like my dwarves to live a lavish, dwarvish life of luxury. And they thank me for it before they go insane or get killed. Yeah, we gotta get that booze rolling, but unfortunately we have to get the fruits rolling, really. They've eaten all of their stuff. Oh, I suppose I could. Yeah, we can do this. We can tell them to pick all of the plants around here. Just get all the way up here and just be like, alright, everything. Just get all of it. Gather. And so now there's a bunch of plants, these little... Well, I don't see any actually right near us, but if there were any plants, yeah, these things, they're now going around and picking them. Probably something dumb like prickleberries or hay grass or something, but every now and then you get something you could brew into a drink. Let's see if that worked. We'll just extract from plants forever until that's done, until there's nothing more to extract. Yep, and that's it. That's all there was. They had like one plant in storage that could do it. So that's an interesting thing about this. We can actually look at our stocks and our status and everything. But without anybody in particular, we don't really know what we have. Like anything more than 10, it's like, I don't know, there's like about 10 maybe? And so, yeah, so we're having a real issue where there's just not very much. We could brew barley. I don't know why nobody's doing that. Why that's not a thing, but I guess we just don't have the right thing. Oh, this is the problem. We don't have any barrels. That's another thing. See, our carpenters have to make all kinds of bullshit in the beginning here. There's just not enough time for it all. We need to make bins, doors, beds, barrels. We need a mason. Let's get down to our rock mining area here, and we'll go ahead and build a workshop. Go ahead and get ourselves a mason's workshop here. And these guys will turn these stones into all kinds of useful things, such as doors, or chairs and tables. That's what we're going to use to adorn our amazing place with. In the meantime, we have hematite, which is good for making iron from. And we have, ooh, rough white jade. Nice. So we can probably stud something with that so that it menaces with spikes of white jade. As you do when you're a dwarf. Nothing just looks on it. Sorry, the tile set, sorry, I keep looking over at the chat only every now and then. The tile set I'm using is MEPH, M-E-P-H, and to be honest, it's pretty amazing. I've been very impressed. I just wish that it looked a little better, more zoomed out. Like, if I zoom into the exact level, you'll see how nice and crisp it is, but it's way too, like, close in for it to work. Let's see if I can find it here. There's, like, just one level where it looks good, and everything else it looks like it's got, like, a weird little halo around it. Anyhow, I can't play it that zoomed in because I can't tell what's going on. Meth. Meths, yeah. But yeah. It's actually. But yeah. These little guys are going to run around and they'll take care of things. We got a few plump helmets finally coming in, so I should be able to now tell this guy to do it, assuming we have barrels, which we don't. Come on, Carpenter. We need those barrels. Get them churning out. We need them badly. Our first barrel. Quickly. You, sir. He's probably already put something in it, hasn't he? That little dick. Yep. Still no barrels. So this might be a good time to set up. Order. Workshop order. Oof. I'm gonna have to take a look into that again. The way I normally do it is from here, you add a task, something like, actually, let's do it up there with the barrels, make sure there's always some on hand. So you make a task, you make a barrel, then on here you go into the details. You change the wood. It's not really what I want here. I think that's what it is. We need a manager set as one of our nobles before we can do this. Like I said, early days, this automation is already a hack, but they certainly don't want you to be able to do it from the start. So let's see here, we need to get some more areas. I think we need bar and block storage. We'll definitely need that for our metals and things as we get it. We already have leather. Did we get cloth? I think we already have cloth. Finished goods, weapons, armor. I'm having a hard time telling exactly what it is we're supposed to be missing from here. Let me take a look. What is this up here that's inside of our cart that we can't get rid of? Oh, nothing. That's just the wagon's own, like, look. Alright, well then in that case, I think we can just do this. We do that, or do we have to do in wagon X? Yeah, remove the building. Yeah. And that's what I need to do for this one, too. There we go. So now someone will run up there and start beating the wagon down until we get all the parts out of it. Bam. So we got some ropes and things. This really should have a place to go already. I don't know why they wouldn't be put away. Yeah, I mean, we have a cloth storage bin. It's right up here. So, go figure. Dwarf logic. Maybe now that it's laying on the ground, they'll take care of it. Maybe not. Maybe it'll just go away. It's fine. Nobody cares about cloth. Alrighty. So we should have barrels galore now. There we go. Brew, drink from plant. Now available. Set that on repeat. We want as many drinks as possible. And let's see, if we look at our stats in our kitchen, we can see, yeah, we now have no real clue exactly how many we have because we don't have a manager taking care of it, a bookkeeper rather. But I mean, you know, we got finger millet plants, whatever the fuck those are, and we have barley and ratweed, just 2 of those though. We know how much of that we have. We're, you know, really aware of the lack of ratweed. Yeah, things are looking pretty good. That's a lot of helmets going on, and that should mean that we should be pretty close to, yeah, we have all kinds of dwarven ale and beer and rum going on here. Just a little bit of wine. Dwarven beer. Alright, good. So our brewer is working hard on this. He's getting things and getting barrels. And who is this guy? Tirist Bella Volkar. Let's take a look at Tirist here. I wouldn't feel comfortable getting all dressed up. That's the quote from Tirist famous urn, if we translated it into English. Satisfied remembering improving mining. Ah, that's, see, loves a job well done. She's just like, yes, man, I remember that time I sucked at mining and now I'm good at it. Euphoric due to inebriation. Good. Good, that's the kind of people we need in this fortress. People who get euphoric about getting drunk. She's a little annoyed at the lack of chairs, and she doesn't like the fact that she's having to drink like right out of the barrel. She wishes that she had a goblet or a cup or mug. We could take care of that. She's clumsy. Level-headed, though, after learning something. Unfettered, yeah, okay. Not distracted from being away from friends. Good. Well, this would be a good person to send out into battle. Except for the clumsy part. Because that's what it's going to come down to, is battle. So let's see about setting up some things in our mason. Because, I think lots of people would be quite upset about not having anywhere to sit and eat from. So let's see here, we'll go ahead and make some thrones, which is the name for chair, and dwarf, apparently. And that should do. We'll go check on that a little bit later. All of these rooms now, though, are good, and they should have people living in them. No, nobody's gone in here? Do I need to say it's a free bed? Oh, no, I do have to make it a bedroom. Just say, I don't know, maybe they'll claim it when they go to sleep next. Either way, we need to set our meeting room up, and we're going to set that here so that people don't just sit around like bozos outside being like, I do like getting rained on. There's nothing to do here yet, but, I mean, at least now they'll know, like, hey, this is where you chill when you got nothing to do. So the dogs have figured it out. They're like, yeah, we love it. Love just sitting around here. Got our farmers working hard, farming. When I say farmers, I mean they do pretty much everything. Probably need a bigger wood stockpile, but I don't really want to spend lots of time dragging logs around. Oh boy, saving the game. That always takes a little while. I spared you most of the weight of having to run a large world by generating it and finding all of the good places to set up. But the saving is still going to take just a little bit of time. It's the only thing I can't really do anything about. I mean, I could turn it off, but this game, as developed as it is, still will totally screw you every now and then and be like, lol, 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 there goes your game. And because it's a hardcore sort of game, there goes your entire save file. Like, your fortress just doesn't exist anymore. So I let it save once every season just to make sure that if I lost something, it wouldn't be any more than like an hour or two of work. Here we go. Alrighty. So we're starting to get a little bit of stockpile of things. Our food has room, so we don't need any more of that. I'm still a little concerned why certain things don't have a stockpile. So I'm gonna change this and just start to allow like everything in here. You need to allow this. Let's see here, what is it? E. Something you always have to look at is what the letter hotkeys are on the menu you're in, because it changes from menu to menu sometimes. And that's probably the biggest gripe I have in this game, is that happens from time to time. Where you're just like, why doesn't the arrow keys work? Oh, I have to use plus and minus for some reason on this one menu. But it usually tells you. Like, it's all written there on the right, any of the hotkeys I'll press. So if you were ever like, what did he do? That's what. It's just figuring out which one goes to which menu. Alright, things are looking good. The summer looks like it's not overly hot here. Things aren't all drying up, which is great. I kind of wish that these chains and things would get put away, but for some reason nobody feels like doing that. So I don't know. That's their jam, I guess. We got plenty of booze coming out, which is good. That's actually really nice. Yeah, more than 50 dwarven wine. Good. Alright, in fact, you're going to cancel this task for me. Actually, let's do this. Repeat. Oh, that's right. I need a manager. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's get ourselves some administration things. Alright. I'll show you how to make stairs. Right? Alright, so you're up here at the top. You're in your main menu on the right. You go D for designation. And at the very top of the menu, you have a bunch of options. So if you have nothing above you, if you're on the top level, you just want a down stair. J. So you just put one of those down, you see? Somebody will dig it. So map with your cursor over it. Hit the down one level key. And then down here you can add either an up stair to just link that one, or an up down stair with I. And that'll allow you to just keep using those all the way down. But yeah, I'm going to cancel this just because I don't want to actually put a staircase into the middle of my fortress there. But that is a point. I should probably build constructions, put up a nice bit of a wall, just so we can get like a little bit of like a protected area here, just so things can't easily walk in. And we'll use some chalk because it's going to look nice and white. Nice pristine walls around our fort that we can cover in blood. And if you're trying to play vanilla Dwarf Fortress, just go ahead and stop what you're doing. Don't do that. That's crazy talk. Why are you doing that? Instead, you should go ahead and get at least DF hack and run that. It's fairly easy to install. You just put the files in the same folder and run like one batch file with it. It's not too hard, and it infinitely makes the game just a billion times better, just all on its own. Yeah, that's just some walls there just to make it a little bit harder for things to walk right into our entrance base. Anyone designated as a crafter will start to work on it. And that's a good point. I should probably show off why you want DF hack. So you have all of this, and it's like, oh god, what's going on? It's like, oh god, like how do I tell each of these guys what they should do, right? And it's like, well, normally you'd have to go into a million different menus and change it for each one. But DF hack adds this. And this little menu may be a little bit scary at first, but these are all of the different professions as I scroll right. All the different things you could have them toggled on and off to do. And this allows you to set priorities and set sort of what each dwarf is allowed to do. So for example, this guy is a dabbling mason, so why not allow him to do masonry? And this guy here is a proficient one, so let's say I was detailing the walls of the barracks. And I don't want just Joey McDumbhands to go over there and just start gouging the nice marble walls out with his inept picking and chiseling skills. I want this guy. I want Olin Rakusadung. I want this guy tomb drummed. I want him to be doing it because he's actually good at it, and he'll like put neat little designs and patterns on it, and that'll make everybody happy. But yeah, if I let this guy here, like if I let Ficod Head Papers here do it, she's gonna just screw it all up, and it's permanent. You know, they're chiseling into the wall. I'd have to get rid of it all and build a new one. So there's certain things to keep in mind with this. There's certain jobs too that just don't make sense, like diagnostician is different than surgeon or bone doctor, and it's like, but a bone doctor still has to do some things that surgeons would do, but so I mean generally if you want one of these you might as well have them do all of the doctor things. I generally like everyone to feed people who can't be fed and to like haul animals that can't be there and to drag wounded people back in. Just because that way somebody fucking does it, they don't just bleed out. But yeah, there's a million skills. Butchering, tanning, growing, dyeing, soaping, potash making, lye making, milling, brewing. I mean, it just, the list goes on. And once you have a lot of dwarves, it becomes very handy to make certain presets. And yeah, it's something that would be nearly impossible and incredibly tedious without DFHack. There's external programs that do it as well, something called Dwarf Therapist. It's got a much nicer interface for it, like it really looks good. But it does the exact same job. So if you don't want to have too much extra, DFHack already fixing your game, making it run better, allows you to do things like that. The workshop automation, super handy. So let's get back to what my guy's been working on. We got some people hauling things around. We got, we have chairs and stuff. We have a few chairs coming in now. So let's go ahead and plan out. I know we haven't got any tables yet, but I'm going to turn on the planning mode and say that we want some tables. So let's get like this whole area here with tables. We'll put chairs around the edges of them. Oop, gotta turn on planning mode for the chairs. And again, this is a way, like, if you wanted to, you could set only a certain material so they all match. I don't care too much for this first one, but perhaps later when we want to make, like, gold tables and chairs, I want to make sure they put the nice gold tables and chairs where they're supposed to go. So our mason, he's chilling, he's working out. Let's see who our mason is. Ah, Olin. Olin, what was his name? Tomb drummed. That's it. Satisfied at work. Likes getting drunk. Always good. Wants the goblet. Yeah, yeah. Wants the chairs and the table. Yeah. Embarrassed sleeping without a proper room. That's a shame. Have people claimed any of these rooms yet? I'm just gonna have to assign these just to make sure that they stop feeling unhappy about this for now. So we'll just get the very next person here. Assign. But you could decide not to give somebody one of these beds, and you can make barracks and dormitories where just anybody can go. And I suppose that's a better way to start the game, but I really like, these first people you have end up so skilled in the end because they're doing all the work that they end up really needing the nicer rooms anyways, because they're going to be like your best miners, your best crafters. One of them's your leader. One of these guys is our expedition leader. Who is it? This guy, Lobram Whipped Flanks. I finished up some work. That was not satisfying. So, I mean, Perfect Noble doesn't like doing work. Didn't feel anything at work. Just nothing. Just, you know, numb to the work that they're doing. Gets tired quickly. No willpower. iffy sense of music and very bad analytical abilities. Well, boys, we're being led by a complete idiot. This is fun. But yeah, this is the way. Once they get enough power and this fortress becomes stronger, they'll start issuing mandates and stuff, and you'll be like, why? Why can't we make jade goblets? Why have you decided that jade goblets aren't allowed? And there'll be no rationale. You just have to do it. I mean, and that's why you generally make special rooms for your nobles. It's a room held up by a single pillar with a switch on it that collapses the pillar, and above it is 10 tons of stone. And nobles just can't resist going into those rooms and pulling on the levers. And so inevitably when they do it, and the stones fall on them, their mandate will end. And that is how dwarves deal with tyranny. It'd be better if we had a pit of lava to drop them out over, but I mean, come on, we can't all live next to an active volcano, okay? Yeah, we got the rooms going, we've got stone coming up, we've got chairs coming out. That's what we need to do. We need to get some tables going now. Yep, and there's a bunch of furniture you've probably noticed in these lists. Anything from statues, tables, cabinets, coffers, chests. A lot of it has an important use. A lot of it seems like, I don't know, like really, do you need a coffer as opposed to a chest? A chest really wouldn't do it for you. It had to be this big. Motions with his hands slightly larger than they were. It wasn't this big, it wasn't gonna work, I don't know. But sometimes, most of the times though, they're just like, I don't know, just throw some shit in my room, make it look nice. So let's see here, what we really could do with is a manager. We need somebody with like analytical skills. Which none of our guys have. But the expedition leader doesn't do bullshit, so we're gonna have them do it as well. And as soon as I've done that, they suddenly now require something. And it's like, alright, what do you need here? He needs an office, at least a meager office. And now begins all of the officing. These assholes will keep asking for things like this, just out of the blue. They'll just be like, yeah, I feel like I need an armor stand in my office now. And you're just like, really? Why? You're the bookkeeper. And he's like, I don't know, I just need it to, you know, to bookkeep. So we're going to give in to the request, heavy in quotation marks, request, and build a couple of offices down this wing here. Because I know we're going to need a few more. I'm not going to connect them in yet, but I'm just going to get them prepared. Oh, did my game just crash? The pain. The pain of a crashing game. Oh, man. Well, that's unfortunate, but my throat is also killing me. So I'm probably going to give this a rest and take a look at the VOD, make sure that everything looks alright, sounds alright. And I will start up again, assuming everything looks good. Anyhow, thank you for tuning in. I will catch you all later.